Imagine this. You're finally on that vacation you've been waiting for. You know, a chance to relax, maybe celebrate something, just get away from it all. And then something happens, something really, truly disturbing. Today, we're not talking about fiction. We're recounting some real, unsettling, genuinely frightening things that happened to people while they were supposed to be enjoying a getaway.
Yeah, these are first-hand accounts. People shared these stories online, things they actually lived through.
Exactly. And what you see is, well, how fast things can go wrong. How a dream trip can just become a total nightmare.
It's chilling.
Our goal here isn't really to scare you exactly, but more to recount these experiences, these really chilling stories, and maybe understand a bit about what makes them so unsettling. Let's start in Las Vegas. A honeymoon, which should be amazing, right? But it took a really terrifying turn.
Okay, so this newly married couple, they arrive at their hotel suite, ready to, start their honeymoon.
But straight away, they noticed this smell. A really, really awful smell in the room. It was so bad they had to report it immediately.
Ugh. Not exactly the welcome you want.
Definitely not. You can imagine how disappointing that must have been.
Yeah.
The hotel staff, they did try to fix it. They offered them like a free meal,
Yep.
sent housekeeping up a few times to clean again.
But it didn't work. The smell stayed.
It just wouldn't go away. Despite everything, the smell just lingered. So the husband, he gets frustrated, he can't ignore it anymore. He decides, okay, I'm going to find out where this is coming from myself.
Right, takes matters into his own hands.
Yeah. And what he found is just horrific. He started checking around, looking under the bed, and he pulled back the mattress.
Oh, no.
And there it was, a dead body under the mattress they were supposed to be sleeping on.
Gosh. On your honeymoon, that's...
I can't even imagine.
I know. Just think about that. The very beginning of your married life, and you're faced with something so incredibly gruesome. It went from just an unpleasant smell to something truly sinister.
A complete violation of what should have been a happy, private time.
Okay,
What's next? Another honeymoon story, I think. That's right. This one takes place in Oahu, Hawaii. Beautiful setting, right?
Right.
Paradise.
Should be.
Sun, beaches. But for this couple, again, that dream turned menacing pretty quickly. Early in their trip, the wife is just relaxing on the beach. And she notices this man watching her, just staring. Made her feel really unsettled.
That's creepy enough on its own.
It gets worse. When she tried to walk away, he actually, blocked her path. Stopped her from leaving.
Whoa, okay, that's way over the line.
Definitely. Luckily, some other people came by around then, and she managed to get away. They did the right thing, though they went and reported it to a beach police officer.
Good, they reported it.
So they probably hoped that was the end of it. They go back to their hotel later. But that night, late, around midnight, there's a knock on their hotel room door.
Midnight? That's unusual for a hotel staff.
Very unusual. They look through the peephole, and they see a man standing there in what looks like a maid's uniform.
Okay, red flag right there, especially if they had the do not disturb sign out.
Which they did. And it gets worse. The man tries to open the door, immediately after knocking, as he's talking.
What did she say?
He gave some excuse, claimed he'd left something behind when he was cleaning the room earlier. But it just didn't add up, especially with the sign out.
Wow.
And that's when the wife, she froze.
She recognized him?
Yes,
Yeah.
It was him, the same creepy guy from the beach.
Oh, that's terrifying, the realization.
Exactly. And then, just like that, their worst fears confirmed. The man suddenly lunged at the husband. He had a knife.
No, he attacked
Him with a knife. It's unbelievable. But the wife, incredibly brave, she reacted instantly, grabbed a lamp, hit the attacker with it.
Wow. Quick thinking.
Absolutely. Might have saved her husband's life. All the noise, the commotion, it alerted other guests. People came out of their rooms. It must have been just chaos.
I bet police were called.
Police came. The attacker was caught, thankfully. But you can imagine the trauma. They survived, but they're left wondering why. What was his motive? Just horrifying.
Truly horrifying. Okay, moving from tropical nightmares to a road trip.
Yeah, family road trip. This family was driving from New York down to Florida. Kids in the back, excited about going to Disney. Standard family vacation, right?
Sounds like it.
But late one night, driving through Georgia on the highway, things took a really frightening turn.
What happened?
It was about 11 p.m. The dad's driving, wife and kids are asleep, making good time. Then suddenly, up ahead, he sees something weird on the road. A car parked right in the middle, blocking the lanes.
Just parked there.
Parked there with safety cones around it and flashing SOS lights. It looked like maybe an accident or some kind of emergency scene.
Okay, so you'd slow down, naturally.
Exactly. He slowed down, cautiously approaching. And as he gets closer, two men wearing hoods step out from behind the parked car and start walking towards his car.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. Hooded men approaching late at night.
Not at all. His instincts just scream danger. He immediately put the car in reverse, getting ready to back away. One of the men walks right up to his driver's side window.
Did he talk to him?
The driver lowered the window, just a crack, as if he needed help, trying to be cautious. And the man's response, just flat out, open the door.
Chilling. Just demanded it.
That was it. Danger confirmed. The driver slammed the window shut, hit the gas, and maneuvered around the car and the cones as fast as he could.
Good move. Get out of there.
But they weren't safe yet. Almost immediately, another car pulls out from somewhere and gets right behind them. Lights flashing aggressively, tailgating them.
Oh no, a chase.
The chase, and then they heard it. Two loud pops. Gunshots.
They shot at them.
Shot out their tires. The driver felt the car lurch, losing control. Imagine that feeling: dark highway, tires gone, family in the car, and someone chasing you, shooting at you.
That's pure terror.
The wife woke up, absolutely frantic, calling 911. And the car behind them started ramming their vehicle, hitting them from behind.
Just relentlessly attacking them.
It must have felt hopeless. But then, just when it seemed like the worst could happen, they saw lights. Police lights and sirens in the distance, coming towards them.
Thank God. Rescue.
Like a miracle. As soon as the chasers saw the police, they sped off. The police went right after them.
Wow. What an ordeal.
It really sounds like something from a movie. They pulled over, saw the damage, two tires completely blown out.
Right.
And the police. They actually caught the guys.
They did. That's amazing.
Yeah, apparently another driver had run into the same roadblock trap earlier, managed to escape, and called 911. So the police were already alerted and heading that way. Incredible timing.
Incredibly lucky. Okay, what's the next one? This is intense.
This next story shifts to the Caribbean, the island of St. Martin. Couples out sightseeing, driving around. They decide to turn down this remote side road, kind of off the beaten path, not much civilization around.
Exploring, okay.
And they see something odd. Just the back end of an old rusty blue car sticking out of the tall grass or crops by the side of the road.
Look abandoned.
Yeah, it looked abandoned. The husband, just out of curiosity, decides he wants to check it out. So he stops their car.
Probably shouldn't have.
Well, yeah, in hindsight, he tells his wife to wait, walks over to the rusty car, peers in the windows, doesn't see anyone inside. Then he looks down, underneath the car, and he just recoils, visibly shocked.
What did he see?
His wife gets out of their car to see what's wrong, what he saw, and together they look under the car, and it's gruesome.
What was it?
Underneath this old car were two men, and they had large knives, and between them was a body, a dead body, covered in blood.
Oh my God, they stumbled right into something horrific.
Right into the middle of it. The husband didn't even hesitate. He grabbed his wife, pushed her back towards their car, jumped in, and just floored it. Drove away as fast as they possibly could.
I don't blame them. Get out of there immediately.
Absolutely. They drove straight to the nearest town and reported what they'd seen to the police. Just an absolutely horrific discovery. The story mentions it left a really lasting, disturbing impact, especially on the wife.
I can only imagine. Seeing something like that, you wouldn't forget it.
Never. Okay, our last story for today takes place somewhere that's supposed to be all about fun and relaxation.
A cruise ship.
A cruise. Okay, what could go wrong there?
You'd think it would be safe, right? This was a Royal Caribbean cruise, Florida and the Bahamas. The person telling the story was 16 at the time. Their unsettling experience started in the ship's nightclub. They noticed this older man just staring at them intensely, following them with his eyes wherever they moved in the club.
Just staring. That's unnerving.
They then feel really uncomfortable, really creeped out. And it wasn't just there. Later, they saw the same man near the bar outside the club, staring again.
Persistent.
That's really unsettling.
Very. The narrator was quite disturbed, but didn't mention it to their sister, who they were sharing a cabin with. Didn't want to worry her, I guess.
Right, sometimes you try to downplay things.
Exactly. But the unease lingered. The next night, they came back to their cabin late after being out with family. And they found the cabin door slightly open.
Open, not just unlocked, but actually ajar.
Ajar, yeah. And the light inside was on, which was definitely not how they'd left it.
Okay, that's immediately alarming on a cruise ship.
Yeah, that would send a chill down your spine, wouldn't it? They went inside very cautiously, looked around. But nothing seemed out of place. Nothing looked disturbed or stolen.
So, a false alarm, maybe?
That's what they tried to tell themselves. Maybe their brother, who was also on the cruise, had popped in looking for them and just forgot to pull the door shut properly. They rationalized it and went to sleep.
Trying to feel secure again.
But that security was just shattered later that night. They woke up to a hand brushing against their cheek.
No, someone was in the room.
Someone was in the room standing right by their bed. In the dark, they first thought maybe it was their brother, but then they realized it wasn't.
It was the man.
It was the creepy man from the nightclub. He was in their cabin while they were sleeping.
That is absolutely terrifying. The ultimate violation of privacy and safety.
Can you imagine the sheer terror? Waking up like that. Thankfully, their brother was actually in the room, sleeping in another bed. A struggle started.
With the brother and the intruder.
Yeah. They managed to fight him off, yelling. Their parents heard the commotion from their nearby cabin, rushed in. Ship security was called immediately.
Was he caught?
He was. They arrested him right there.
Yeah.
Apparently, he was confined to the ship's brig, the jail, for the rest of the cruise.
Wow. At least there was some immediate justice.
Yes, but the emotional impact
Yeah.
that stayed with the narrator long after. They said the experience made them incredibly hesitant to ever go on a cruise again, which is completely understandable.
Absolutely. That kind of fear, that violation, it lingers.
It really does. And what's so striking looking back at all these stories is how terror just burst into these situations where people expected safety, expected fun, relaxation.
Yeah, these aren't campfire tales. These are real things that happen to people just trying to enjoy a vacation. It's unsettling.
It really is. It's a stark reminder, isn't it? That even when you're away from home trying to unwind, you're still vulnerable. Unexpected dangers can just appear.
It definitely makes you think about awareness, about trusting your gut feeling, even when you're technically in a safe place like a hotel or a cruise ship.
It certainly does. Well, thank you for listening as we recounted these truly unsettling real-life stories today.
We hope these accounts were gripping, maybe kept you on the edge of your seat a little. They certainly highlight the unexpected darkness that can sometimes lie beneath the surface of travel.
If you found these true stories compelling, please do like this, share it, and subscribe to our channel, Horror Docs, for more real accounts. We'll see you next time.